Hive recently added a new game mode called Bedwars Duels, and it has some problems. So let's break down systematically the problems with Bedwars Duels and explain how Hive could actually improve them to make a better game mode. I'm ICB Wing. I've maxed this game twice. Let's get into the problems with Bedwars Duels. Let's start with the maps. These are it. These are all the maps on Bedwars Duels right here. Only these 6 maps. Now, only having 6 maps isn't inherently an issue, but it is when they're so poorly designed for the Duels game mode as these ones are. Like, this is my first time playing this map, for example. This is my first time playing it. I'm looking at who I'm playing against, I'm seeing, oh, this is oriented very weirdly. They clearly just copy-pasted some of these islands and just placed them at a different location. Yo, Editor Icy coming in real quick to reaffirm this because I've now played every map. They're all just copy-pasted from their original. And in other cases, they're only diagonal bridge accessible, which is highly annoying for specifically mobile players as well, because now they have to go to a diagonal point, which they can't icy bridge. Mobile players are not able to do icy bridges that effectively unless they're specifically keyboard mouse mobile players. Like, that, it's just not a thing that most mobile players are able to do. The main problem is these maps don't feel like they're actually designed for duels. They're just taking what they already have and placing it in the game. Which, if they're gonna do a duels game mode, realistically, they should have new maps that they're using that are geared and engineered towards a duels function for Bedwars, because Bedwars is not inherently a 1v1 game mode. This leads me to my next point, where inherently, Bedwars is not that good of a 1v1 game mode, and there's a couple reasons for that. And this isn't inherently Hive's fault, but this is a problem with how Bedwars is just in general made. Bedwars is a very resource-oriented game. You have to get good resources, you have to get a good amount of them, and then once you have a good amount of these resources, you're just going to be able to win the game. That's kind of how Bedwars is meant to function. So, when you put a duel function of very quick games with all of these right next to each other, and you have the most powerful resource in the game, emeralds, alongside some of the most powerful items in the game, such as jetpacks, diamond swords, max gens, which are all so critically important to a regular game of Bedwars, all of a sudden, you have a really fast game mode where if you make a single mistake while you're playing this game for the first time, you're just gonna lose the game against someone who has a slight idea of what they're doing. In this example, let's look at this. I have a jetpack in the first couple minutes of the game. This guy didn't know that it was gonna be that bad, and look at it. Me having a jetpack is just going to cause me to win the game. So the problem with what Hive is trying to do is they're trying to fit a square peg in the circle hole, which is just, it's not going to work. It's just never going to work like that. They're never going to be able to make it fit in that regard. And the problem is they're not even really trying with this game mode to do that. They're just copy-pasting the islands, removing 2 of the emerald gens, and calling it a day. Like, that's just not gonna function right. The only way, realistically, that you'd be able to fix duels is one of 2 ways. One, remove the broken emerald items, like maybe keep the diamond sword, maybe keep the diamond armor, but take out the damn jetpack to start. Or alternatively, another thing you can do is you can remove emeralds altogether. In general, emeralds would actually improve the game state as long as they also remove the stuff from the shop who was meant to have emeralds. And for the people in the comments who are going to be like, oh, you're just saying that because you can't win a duels game. I've won at least like 30 duels games out of like 40, 45 that I've played. I'm not going to say I'm a great player by any means. I've probably lost a couple winnable games. But it's not that I can't win games. I've won a lot more than I've lost in this game mode. The problem I have with this game mode is it is fundamentally broken because it doesn't understand how Bedwars works. And that's kind of an inherent problem when you're trying to make a duels game mode for Bedwars. The only somewhat intelligent decision with this game mode that I remember or that I can think of as of this current moment is that it is wholly separate in stats from regular Bedwars, which I think is a really good thing, and I'm glad the Hive did that because otherwise leaderboard grinders would just be so incredibly insufferable. But that's about it. There's not really too much else I can think of positively about this game mode. And I really want to like this game mode. I really like Bed Wars. I really enjoy the game, and having a duels function is, in my opinion, really nice. I really like having this function. My problem is that this just isn't a good adaptation of what a Bed Wars Duels game mode should be. At the very least, Hive needs to alter the shop. The shop needs to be altered for Bed Wars, because this current shop just does not work with this duels capacity. It just doesn't. It truly just doesn't work, and I really want Hive to recognize that they need to fix the Bed Wars shop, at least for duels game modes. There shouldn't be a jetpack. There shouldn't be a mace. There shouldn't be pearls in this game mode either. That might be a controversial take, but I don't think there should be pearls in this game mode. And the reason for that is because pearls trivialize half the shit in this game. So let me explain what I mean by that. The reason why I think pearls trivialize half of the duels function in this game is because you can just pearl away if you get access to the emeralds first. Remember my point about emeralds being really easy to get if you get to them first. You can wholly cut off your opponent from getting access to emeralds. This is a very easy thing for your opponent to do. And it's inherently an issue, in my opinion, if, your opponent doesn't have access to any emeralds, you have all these emeralds, and you buy pearls. Like, what are they gonna do as counterplay to that? There's no counterplay to you having all the emeralds and getting pearls, because it's really easy to just get all the emeralds. So having pearls as well just means that when you are fighting your opponent, you can just pearl to their island, break their bed, steal their resources, put it in the ender chest, jump off, get back to your island before your opponent's able to get there. And all of a sudden, wow, you have every resource in the game, plus pearls, plus everything on your island, plus everything on their island. There's just no counterplay to that, and that's an inherent problem in duels. Duels is meant to have a counterplay sort of scenario to where it actually feels evenly matched with your opponent. Bed Wars Duels, in essence, does not have that. To summarize my points as clearly and concisely as I can. To start, the maps are not oriented well towards duels. These are just copy-pasted maps with copy-pasted islands that do not lend themselves well to the duel capacity or the duels game mode in any way, shape, or form. Second, the shop is not oriented towards this game mode in the slightest, because you just get emeralds, you win the game. It's simply that easy. And these two factors together will just lead to such an unfun game mode. That's it. That's just the end of the game. Thank you guys for watching. I hope Hive improves this as time goes on.